So you're probably here after watching this video, and if we read the title of this one, yes, history repeated itself. A month after being the so-called Elden Lord, here drops its DLC, The Shadow of the Erdtree. And from the marketing materials they released, it looks so hard, but so good. I know the controls, I've already spent 100 hours of my life on this game, I'm ready to go back in. Though I haven't played a Souls DLC, I don't think it should be that hard, right? I was wrong, and you're gonna see why it took me another whole year to complete the Elden Ring DLC. I'm here to play games. Oh, we are so back, guys. This is gonna take me another year, more like a half a year. I'm not gonna lie, I missed playing Elden Ring. It was like 2.5 weeks, who am I kidding? But here I was at Mohgwyn's Palace. I said that right this time. No one on stream corrected me. I just found out how you pronounce his name like 5 days ago. This NPC, Letta, essentially guides you on what happened after you defeated Mohg. It seems like Miquella's cocoon opened up and we must follow in suit. So I transported into the shadow of the Erdtree and I was more than ready to embrace its world. Oh my god, it looks so beautiful. Graveside Plain. Oh my god, it's already there. Holy f***, it's big. I geeked out. Call me weird, but I missed hearing the sound effect for discovering sites of grace. Here's the first lost grain that BB girl will touch. They fucking lied about how big this DLC is. Where do I go? Ah! There's so many places. You can go left and right and get this, up and down. We'll get back to this conversation later. I approached what it seemed to be tomb remnants with these massive birds. First mob of the DLC. It wasn't so bad until I got into this first mausoleum. Now, I've seen some clips of people going through this guy. Assuming my weapon is the same caliber as theirs, easy way to get runes, right? No. It showed me a challenge. I think the high of beating what was considered a hard boss in the base game lingered on, and I knew after several defeats, I needed to change that mindset. This guy had stamina maxed out ×2. Once you get hit, it's just done. And the amount of damage I was inflicting on this guy wasn't even as close as how much he inflicted on me. If you're starting the DLC, forget everything you know about dodging and all, and get ready to be obliterated. Also a reminder, make sure you've used your runes. This was from the Elden Beast. Oh my god, I have so many runes! I have so many runes! I didn't expect myself to put so much time for an optional enemy. My PC thought the same because it literally crashed after seeing me die for the 11th time. After 5 more tries, I lost it all to a candle holder. We'll come back to him. That was very humbling. I knew I had to walk away before I got even more tilted, and thankfully, I did, because I was rewarded with my first Skidoo tree fragment. Freya, an ally of General Radahn, and Letta greets us. It seems we're known as a Tarnished who is following Miquella as well. She does give us a hint on where to find more of these crosses, and I will say, I enjoyed how the NPCs are telling us where to go. Even the overall interaction with these guys were fun. Maybe it was me not paying attention in the base game, but I understood more of the dialogue here, and it was less cryptic than usual because everyone had one goal: get to Miquella. The further I went, the more I saw what was going in the distance. I was a bit terrified of what loomed in that castle. For the most part, I was rediscovering a massive land. I was looting everything and going wherever the path takes me, including going inside a cave and completing that. Back was that sweet sound and feeling of defeating an enemy. After making it out, I stumbled upon this village with disgusting massive flies. Ew! Ew, it makes the noise. It makes the little bee noise. Oh no. If you have a weak stomach, I'm warning you, there is some freaky and sad stuff that happened here. As I looked more at the map, I realized it wasn't reliable. Frequently, I would get to an area where it seemed like another path will open up, but no, it was straight up cliffside. Oh wow, how the hell? I was a bit worried since I don't know how I could get down there. Nevertheless, there was one clear path and it was on the way to Messmer's castle. I dodged through the infinite arrows on this single bridge and safely secured the grace at its doorstep. Before heading inside, the map of crosses told me one was nearby, so I had to discover it and its fragment. There I met Tholier. Tholier? I don't know, man. Very sweet guy, but that was the interaction, so I left. Another NPC I met was Igon.
Bale! Vile Bale!
He's a dragon guy who seemed to be in pain, assuming it was caused by this invader, and I should have known it was foreshadowing an entire mountain dedicated to dragons. It was out of reach and back I was at the bridge. Very hard foes and another cross. From the looks of it, some boss was looming here with how heavily guarded this castle was. And I was right. Wait, is that Rellana? If the names couldn't be any more confusing. Here I was with Renala's sister, Rellana and Renala. What? According to the lore, Sorsvati, because I didn't have anything else better to do on my weekends, she followed Messmer into the Shadow Realm. I like to think she had a crush on him. Why else would you follow a man? Which also gets confusing when you connect Radahn might be Messmer's dad. And anyways, as the first big boss of the DLC, she proved she's no joke. Anything you've seen from her sister, she will do it twice as fast. Stand too close to her, she'll swipe your ass. And too far, well, she'll still swipe your ass, but now bigger. Yeah, I was getting really mad. The parallel of starting this game with a magical witch was crazy. She had the largest AoE I knew at the time, and if you had the wrong timing, you're dead. Even the return on getting a small hit in and them being able to do 4 times the damage on you with what is considered their lightest attack, it can get unbearable. I panic rolled until panic rolling wasn't possible, and I'm thankful me and my mimic had enough bleed to inflict upon her. And without it, I feel like I would have stopped the game, because after all, this is my first Souls DLC. It is doable, but precision was written all over this game. Thank God for my mimic. Oh my god. And after finding another map, oh my gosh. Okay, well that's enough. I ended stream. Day 2, I picked up on a conversation with Hornsent.
Blood must spill, the blood of your fellows.
And I'm starting to think he doesn't like us. Then at another cross is Dryleaf Dane. Okay, what does he have to say? Nothing. He has nothing to say. Such wise words. Same thing from last stream. Find more crosses, graces, whatever, honestly. Wow, they love hanging their people. What the f are they doing? This is like a torture chamber. There's a more common theme going on in these villages. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, he's like a boss. Oh, wow. I was really close. I was not close. Get on my level! He was like probably like an easy boss. What am I talking about? Ah, yes. The reactions to victories. After looting fragments and leveling up more, I figured I had enough strength to beat the first enemy I encountered. The damage I was now inflicting on this dude was way better compared to last time. I don't think you're even supposed to fight this guy when starting the DLC. He was just conveniently placed. And literally on my first try with him, he was donezo. Wow, look at me go. You thought he could like run freely? I went up this long path which seemed to keep going when I was at the base of it. Ansbach, the 7th NPC I've met. Really cool guy. Definitely onto something about Miquella. Scratch that, now I'm on my 8th NPC. Literally, how many more are there? And yes, I did give Tolier his syrup. I went up through to what was called Belurat. Oh my god, wait. Oh my god, I knew it! Kill it. Oh, they have hair. They have hair. Why do they have hair? Oh, ew. Oh, that is nasty. Okay, how many more bugs do I need to encounter? Past the large scorpion spider thing, I made it to actual Belurat. It reminded me heavily of the capital with its architecture and golden aura, but with shadow people. This is where he came from. No, I did not.
In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Be for real. I see him. Oh!
Burned by grace. Kneel evermore.
What is this nerd doing? I got too cocky. I'm coming back for him. After passing the son of a gun whose only talent is spinning in circles, I met another being that would do the same thing on a greater scale. We made it to the top of the tower, and I'm pretty sure we cleared everything. Wait, this is gonna be like a cutscene, I think.
Rise.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, there's no reason to include what happened here, but it was funny to not. Anyways, back to the program. Divine Beast Lion. I think the scariest looking beast out there. The music didn't help at all with how epic his fight was. One moment he would turn, and the next thing you know, you're being blasted with the elements. His moveset was mesmerizing, and though he moved a lot, I feel like I had enough time to get some hits in, even do some good dodges. It was fair. But for sure, his second phase was bad. Lightning, my biggest fear, came into play, and it does make it hard because you literally can't see anything. Then came in the frost and the wind. Again, the music for his fight makes it crazier. At one point he was doing some spins and I was in him, and with that on my second run, he just died. I kind of cheesed it, but like what just happened? Like I could not see anything. What did I get? Divine Beast Head. More doors. Spirit Ashes. I knew it. Oh wow, covered in thorns. Who would have thought? Ah, yes, the classic covered in thorns. You could totally go through there. Like, who are they kidding? You could just go under. I will follow the crosses east. To the east we go next. It would make sense Messmer would be in that general area. After all, he does have a flame. Okay, but how did Miquella find out this place? Did his mom tell him, be like, yo, if you want to be like me, the start of everything, it's right here. I'll give you the cords. Approaching his castle, I stop by an oddly suspicious church. It's gonna be that dude with the whack haircut.
Thou shalt not evade the flame of Messmer.
This won't be the last time we see this bold-cutted guy. Following the embers of Messmer in the other way, here I was entering an open, dark gate. Then something broke, and maybe my game, because that first message definitely didn't load. There's stuff, and so I didn't even read it. I got so distracted, and so too a powerful charm. But it was Miquella's great rune. Whatever charm he had on the NPCs, they're gone, and it seems they'll know about the truth pretty soon. But before meeting them, I was presented with a very massive room. There it was, a golden hippopotamus that just demolished me right then and there. Fret not though, because I definitely cooked this guy. Oh, cheese! I love cheese! I am collecting my reparations for the war. Up and up I went, turning into all sorts of corridors. I made it to a point where the area was the loading screen for the DLC, and my senses were tingling with how close I was. Not. I had just made a massive loop back to the beginning. Shadowkeep was a maze, and the part that I was currently on wasn't where I needed to go. I ended up deeper into a basement with a single coffin that was rideable, so I wrote it. What is going on? I feel like this wasn't discovered as much, cause... Oh, well, down Geronimo. I deadass unlocked a new area, and for the first time, lower than the land I was on. Yeah, I couldn't anymore. And that wraps up the stream for the day. After that second stream, I went on vacation, and honestly, I haven't touched the game since. Well, I mean, I did. I couldn't help myself explore the Abyssal woods. Call me dramatic, but something about the DLC's layout left me feeling off, like tired. I didn't want to rely on looking at a tutorial to find the next area of the map. Maybe I suck at exploring, but I felt like I was now studying with some notes. It also didn't help that avoiding spoilers during that month was nearly impossible. Before I knew it, I'm watching people take on what's considered the hardest boss in any Souls game, Consort Radhan. Heck, the next few bosses I was supposed to fight looked out of my reach. I told myself I would rather watch a streamer suffer while I do something else. I already knew what was coming, and my curiosity about the game faded. No one really cared if I played or not, so I took a break, a year off. Insane, I won't lie. But when I started editing that last video, I missed how much fun I had. Also, a bunch of you loved it. You gave my DLC run a second life. Now I'm doing it for the both of us. I want to say I beat Messmer, Radahn, and Miquella. If you're stuck too, just know it's okay to pause, and it's even better to come back. I had no clue what I did last gameplay. I'd assumed that I finished exploring the majority of Midra's Mans last time I got on, but other than that, nothing. There were fluffs here and there, where the most I could do was run away. For a year of not playing, the momentum of defeating enemies was gone. It's like I'm playing the game for the first time again. I have COD controls! Why do I have COD? Oh my god. That was really embarrassing. I had to start from scratch, using this Frenzied Flame boss. One thing for sure, I did remember how to do large attacks, but that was it. Dodging times were often chaotic, plus this Midra guy just couldn't stop spinning around. I'm starting to notice a pattern here. With that said, I spent an hour trying to defeat this guy. It would have been more if it weren't for this last minute clutch by my Mimic. Ah! No! Oh, wait! a W. I couldn't believe it, and more than anything, I was ecstatic. I'm back in the zone, baby! That feeling of wanting to explore more was itching. After all, I had 2 areas of the map undiscovered. Hence, the next thing I wanted to do was find the map fragments. There is a map marker up north, and of course, a cliffside stops me. Teleporting to the other side of a ravine also didn't help. Further down this path I thought would take me to a map fragment ended up being a secluded area for a catacomb. Fog Rift Catacombs. I'm scared. I'm gonna put my flashlight on and we're gonna get into it. Dungeons weren't my thing, it was dimly lit, and I wasn't a fan of being underground, knowing there were more stuff to explore above. Something just happened. Ah! Point proven. Except I seemed to be in a very big one that kept going down. Imagine that was just the start. I guess deeper. But I guess it was a good way to ease me back into the rhythm of combat and looting. On top of foreshadowing myself, the whole thing was riddled with uncanny foes. I see him. I don't even know what these guys are called, but they were freaky, even annoying if they start casting spells. I'm gonna get smithereened. Everything looked like death. Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Attacking the Death Knight was honestly no challenge at all, unless you get grabbed by him and he sucks your soul out. He easily staggered and the pillars couldn't break with his attacks, so it was a smooth battle. With 2 enemies defeated, I said screw map hunting. I'm ready for Messmer. Except I again got distracted by some crater in the ground. It led me to a secret tunnel, and all of a sudden, I've unlocked the layer I wanted to get to before. Yes, layers. Layers that don't connect, where you have to get to them like a Donkey Kong level. I realized one thing about this DLC, and it's that if you don't keep exploring a new area, you'll be barred from making it to other zones. I made the most out of my time here, and this church on the map always looked interesting. Ymir, another freak in this game obsessed with fingers. And oh, I can't do his quest because my map is still grayed out. Pushing further, I made it to Raw Base with the help of trusty chat. Yeah, another map fragment down. Yay! I wish I was kidding, but after ending stream, I went on a little adventure on my own that night. I also made sure to record it for you guys. It's honestly better I did this offline, otherwise the stream would be me again glancing towards my phone since graces were easy to miss. So this night, I went to another death-themed catacomb. Horrifying task, eyeball things freaked me out. I defeated its Death Knight, then explored 2 of these fire forges with the cute guards. Man, I felt so bad for killing one of them. They were honestly friendly, petting their magma globs. We are terrible people in this game, kind of felt remorseful. More than anything, I was happy getting tons of runes and the chance to level up. Once I revisited this mountain, the mood shifted. I will do anything in my power to avoid dragons. The cave entrance had these uncanny wolf skeleton fusions, that giant lizard you see from the base game, and only one way to go. Down. It did say show no fear, and all I could do was show fear, right in front of a boss wall. I'm thinking the worst, you guys, but it was a dragon civilian, I would call it. Honestly, I would have gotten this guy on my own. The summoning was a trauma response. Dude was taking so much damage, he didn't have time to hit back. And boom, he's done. It's a bit crazy though, because outside of his room was the foot of the Jagged Peak, home of the dragons. It was late. The last thing I wanted was a thunderstorm of dragons coming down at me. The further I go, it worsened. 2 dragons fighting each other, boulders rolling towards you, and this massive one. No words. If you want, use this reason to devalue my gameplay. Maybe one day I'll beat those drakes, just not today. Either ways, the next morning I still had to go back to that area. I was desperate to find that last map, and there was only one way to get to it. All the horrors from yesterday hit this route that takes you to a bigger dragon. I mean, it was dead, but I don't know, I have trust issues with this game. Thankfully, it didn't come back to life and served as one of those dragon communion spots. Over its 100-foot wing was the last area we were looking for. Though the place may look expansive, there wasn't anything in it. Not that I'm complaining, the only thing there were birds and massive gravestones. Nevertheless, we got it, the last map fragment, and the only thing left to do is explore it and kill everything in its way. Riding into this beautiful site, I did find a crater. Is this even called a crater? This is a whole ass opening in the ground. Whatever planet they're on has to be so thick because there's an atmosphere here and it's purple. I figured out this is where Saint Trina lies, so I held myself back from venturing forward to show it on stream. And after doing a quick part of Ymir's questline, on to the next week. Today we are playing more Elden Ring. Messmer is one of my video game hear me outs. It's the day you've been waiting for. Messmer. Using the same outside route from a year ago, the only thing I needed to do was go straight. My mistake last time was taking a left. I have a habit of looking at everything on the sides because often its path will end. I guess here it works a bit differently. I was closer to this place than I thought. Specimen Storehouse. I feel like I'm at a good level to be here. With that said, I didn't feel as threatened. The enemies here were familiar, plus the damage I was inflicting was more than needed. They did have a wicked twist down here. Oh my fucking gosh. Wow. Oh, that's a lady. That's a pot lady. What is going down there? Like some World War II experimentation. There were mutated women in pots. I don't want to kill these guys. They're so small. Are they like mutant children like that got into the pot? What the? This is like a Resident Evil boss. Okay, there we go. I think that's all of them. Ooh, okay, this looks fucked. No words. Oh, door. It's this door. I could open this door. What the fuck is the whole point of the gate? Past this long bridge, I killed the fire wizard controlling it, and at the top of it wasn't the way I needed to go. Just one less thing to do later. Ancient ruins of Raw. Sorry, I laughed at my own joke. Why is that tree like kind of shaking it like that? Back again at the Specimen Storehouse. I like how some of the shadow people weren't all aggressive and I could just walk past them. I also find it funny how I completely missed Ants back here. He blended in so well. But boy, this place was a climb. I did my best to speedrun through this area. I get it, it's supposed to be a dungeon. All this for a smithing stone? Doesn't Sir Ansback show up in this area? Does he? The nice knight who used to work for Mog? How am I supposed to like pronounce it? Moog? Is it Moog or Mog? Is it actually Moog? That doesn't sound right. At a certain point, I'm parkouring on top of feet to get to the cross. Like the loot goblin I was, I collected everything and went on my way. I don't recall what floor I was on. I did find Freya. I couldn't do much with her since I missed Ansback. I feel like I missed something. After flipping the hanging statues, the higher I went, and there it was. The door. This is actually Messmer, guys. 4 flasks? I think we could do it. Why is it alive? Oh my gosh, that really scared me. I was like, why is it still up? Okay, well, there, Jover. I think we could do this with 4 flasks. I didn't mean to do that. I think we could do it with 3 flasks. Yeah, I thought it was an actual boss door. It was not. You know it's a hard-ass boss when there's like another race right in front of it. I put 1 level into FP for some reason, and I guess I was ready. Okay, I'll see you guys in 3 hours. Oh, I'm so cooked. Guys, you gotta admit, he has aura.
In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Why is he hear me out? I can't say anything. Holy crap, I'm fighting Messmer. Like with all bosses, I analyze his moveset, but you cannot stay close to this guy. His grab attack is instant death. You know it's serious when you change out the talismans. Coming back in, the first thing I noticed was his charge AoE. Unironically, it served as practice with a later character we meet, and seeing this Mortal Kombat ass move, I panicked. What the? If he's already doing ultra fast attacks, I can imagine phase 2 being at the speed of light. I will say, even though I was getting ham smacked, wow, I'm sorry, his moves were predictable. There were clear windows to dodge. If I land a hit, he'd spin away to another area. Still didn't make it less frustrating. It's hard to see when he's Beyblading. Adding on, the amount of effects on my screen looked like I got flashbang with confetti. And somehow, I made it to phase 2 after dying. What? My mimic does this oh my gosh.
Wilt thou be taken in the jaws?
He does look like Melania. Okay, I'm gonna die.
In the embrace.
I literally died. My character couldn't handle it. Someone said still hot. You guys need to chill out. Most runs, I didn't make it that far. Half of the time, trying to heal was enough to instantly spite me. Funny enough though, when I was hanging by a thread, I found out you could summon this diva. With 2 distractions in the battle, the tempo of the fight shifted. It was like we were bullying him for a bit. Then came the actual second phase. Again, I haven't witnessed this portion, so all I could do was curl up and start panic rolling. Like I was blessed by Queen Marika, I didn't get hit once during that sequence. But there, I found the cheese. Every time he does that snake AoE, he's stuck mid-transformation, making it a perfect time to hit, until he summons the giant snake. It felt like my eyes rolled back into my skull and out with how much camera movement there was. We did stack up bleed like crazy, and right then and there was the moment I seized it, and he fucking combusted and slammed his snake onto me.
Lightless creature.
If you think it gets easier from here, it did not. If anything, it felt extra hard. Might have been a psychological thing, but suddenly I was dying in the first 10 seconds of every attempt. Whether it was my camera messing up or getting insta-killed, I was reminded it was all in the embrace of Messmer's flame. As I clawed my way back to that sweet ending threshold, I started to really learn his moveset. When he summons the 3 snake heads, just start rolling. I kid you not, my panic rolls aligned so perfectly. He got stunned right in there, and that was it.
You! Oh my gosh! Girl power! This is girl power right here.
More than anything, I was lucky I survived him.
Oh my gosh, guys. I'm shaking.
Surprisingly, Hornshead was here.
Who would rob me of my one vital purpose?
After that horrific realization I probably made a new enemy, it was time to keep exploring Raw. I loved how bright and peaceful this area felt at first. Deers were wandering around, wildlife just vibing, but we know that doesn't last. Across the bridge and underground was a colony of scarlet rot bugs.
Well, this is something.
The first thing I noticed was this awkward camera angle. Instead of her head centered on screen, she was shoved towards the top, giving more of a view to her centipede body. And yeah, it became way more of a problem than it should have. Still, my first try was going smoothly until she jabbed her needle into my skin.
No! I almost had her! Oh my gosh!
From there, I spent the next hour trying to kill it. It's like the game punished me for doing so well early on. She was suddenly ultra aggressive, and what pissed me off the most was that her entire fight dragged out. We got tail whips, sudden combos, and if I got too close, I'm being scissored. She knew I was low on HP and sent it. After 20 so tries, I realized the whole gimmick was to stay on her bad side. She was limited in turning a certain way, so the best you could do is hug that spot and start smacking. But with those new massive turns, and this being like the 4th boss to literally mess up the camera, I had to close my eyes and suck it up. Like, please, why is she rolling again? I laid my final hits, and she was finally defeated.
That's my streamer. Thank you. Shout out everyone who was here. Look at my fucking health up there. Of course I died. Of course she gets me in the afterlife.
I didn't know it, but I was at the part where we can burn the shadow vines.
Burn the ceiling tree. I guess. I know what's gonna happen. I know who's in there.
Safe to say, we are now at the end point of this DLC. Just like that, the mysterious tower opened and settled in my panic thinking I messed up the quest lines I have not finished. Though I briefly mentioned the NPCs in this video, I actually found their quest lines off stream as a refreshing break from the non-stop demigod battles. They gave me a moment to breathe, and I didn't want to move forward without making sure I heard their stories through. So I scurried back to the purple caves I found. I ran past all the ogres with one thing in mind, getting to St. Trina and finish Tholier's quest. Past the laser balls and over the humongous tombstones, of course I had to jump off into my 4th gaping void. Guys, this has to be the deepest part of the DLC, right? Out of nowhere, charging in, a guy on a damn horse. To top it all off, he had a cleaver and, could dismount. Scratch that, when he does dismount, his steed will also trample over you.
It's always the ones with the horses. The horse is gonna f***ing kill me.
I really thought this was going to be an easy fight. I mean, why else would the game make you walk in slowly and jump down every time? This Putrescent knight was relentless. He always swung in, no room for attack when he starts. I had to tank through just to get a single hit. Watching back, I probably should have thrown in more light attacks, but me being me, I got impatient. He wasn't my main objective, and I wanted the fight to be quick as possible so I could move on. Instead, I kept going and spent an unnecessary hour trying to beat it. I played with my headphones off to focus more. That didn't work. I changed shirts to be comfortable. That also didn't work. At a certain point, I realized streaming for 4 straight hours was the reason for doing poorly. My focus on fighting perished. I left, did a bit more explorations in the areas I missed in Shadowkeep, and called it a day. But just like clockwork, I'm back again in my chair for another offline session. This time, tying up loose ends with the NPCs I've met. For the most part, it was Ansbach and Tholier I wanted. The other NPCs, I couldn't care less. They're literally coded into beating my ass at a later fight. If I can't change that, well, might as well get the 2 allies I could summon at the end. I also picked up on completing Shadowkeep. Turns out there's a whole attic system leading you to the northern portions of the world. After riding what felt like an internal elevator, I've made it to the back gate of Shadowkeep. I recognized it, the Marika statue. Funny thing about this is it's actually a hidden door, triggering open if you hit the right gesture. Of course, I didn't have it, so I went back to an earlier area, using my trusty walkthrough, and tried again. It was a nice detail to the lore. Skidoo View was Queen Marika's home village, and it's comforting to see it untouched by the horrors of the land. So this is where these shits came from. My ego awakened. I already defeated 2 tree sentinels from the base game, so I'm confident I could handle a 3rd one. I slaughtered him with my own 2 hands, no help whatsoever, and boy, my heart was racing like a new player. Up the hill it was protecting was a quaint village. Well, if the hills aren't alive, the soundtrack from the base game started playing. Everyone was gone. I was yearning to find something, so I took my time riding around. I will say, the view was amazing. Seeing the massive shadow of the Erd tree in the distance still blows my mind. Nothing much was found, and going back down the hill, are you kidding? Another one? Again, no help. Just me feeding into my ego that I could still fight my battles on my own. It was also nice getting some fragments after all that. Venturing forward, I realized another set of fingers were here. I could do Ymir's questline. So I blew into the finger, talked to him for a bit, and I guess he wants to be a mother. I reloaded the area, and in classic Elden Ring fashion, his so-called child dies. The guide I read said I could open up a secret passage under his chair, and holy crap, this dude really is a freak. I got invaded, talked to Ymir's guard about it, and reloaded the church once again. This time I blew on the final set of fingers, and now I'm fighting the mother of fingers. I have to say, this was up there in my favorite fights. The soundtrack was amazing, and the arena looked underwater. Kind of felt like the Little Mermaid a bit trying to kill Ursula. The summons were intense, literally made a massive black hole, but honestly, it was an easy fight. Did it on my first try. I went back to Ymir's church, and it seems this pissed him off, because now I'm fighting him. Like all tarnished-sized characters, he was no problem to deal with. And sadly, his knight had to go too since she was on his side. Again, we are such bad people, I think.
I found a hippopotamus. It was like Commander Guile or something.
The next chapter of the DLC begins, and we'll start by fighting this Commander Gaius. I'm so tired at this point to even describe his fight. He's a heavy guy on an armored hog. Thankfully, I was able to ride Torrent. It really saved my butt at the end. This point of his second phase, he will not stop trampling over you. His spiked out ride will still land a hit. And lay at the end of it were sweet Skidoo tree fragments to collect. With the warm-up completed, I went back underground for that pearlescent night. Going in, I didn't have too much hope, but with well-earned rest from last night, I locked in more. It was going well. I was closer to his end than last time. I cracked on the stupid horse passes and the fire charges he brings out halfway through. It was like a recall in Rellana's battle with how much I was jumping. Finally, with a single stun, he has been erased. Now my favorite part. I want to tell Tholier his beloved was far underground. Going back there, we could finally imbibe on the sweet nectar of St. Trina. No, because imagine being the guy who had to figure this out. It could have been a big troll, and it wasn't. After beating the poor guy in a petty fight, it's safe to say his quest is completed. I checked more once around, in case I missed anything, and tucked in a little mountain corner was a Mausoleum. Raksasha. Very annoying build, but was intriguing.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I didn't even know what happened. I thought she was still alive. She's still alive? Oh. Why do I kind of like it? No, I'm not a katana person though. We're taking Morgoth's cursed sword to the end.
The climb to the rest of Ilm I don't even know how you pronounce that, but it wasn't easy. Scattered everywhere were the buffiest dudes imaginable, especially this one, total beefcake. No matter where I turned, I'd run into this divine beast hybrid who kept putting me back to the start.
Oh my gosh, how many magic spells do you need?
More giant birds started showing up too. Inner Ilm might have been a small area, but honestly, it was loaded with maxed out enemies. At this point, all I could do was sprint and hope for the best.
I'm running through this guy. There's no way. What was that? What was that? I hear him. I literally hear him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Touch that. Oh my gosh, he's in here with me. Oh my gosh, he's right behind me. Ah! The grace is gone. I'm in the air. Just kill me. Rolling like it's a Sonic game.
Eventually, I noticed a summon sign, which could only mean one thing. Leda. The fight of the NPCs was about to begin. During stream, I wanted to switch things up. Instead of calling in my mimic, I brought in the 2 NPCs to fight alongside me. Not for the lore, but because I kind of felt guilty. A while back, someone mentioned that others might get mad seeing me use the mimic all the time. I get it, it's a duplicate version of View. Even when I watch gameplays, I noticed they either didn't summon at all or used a basic Spirit Dash. My partner reassured me he used the mimic too and still found the game brutally hard, and he's played more Souls games than I have. Still, deep down, it felt I've been cheesing the game. At least with these two, it seemed balanced. They had the same mechanics as the others in the battle. Even then, it got frustrating.
I'm tired of these mystical okay, they're like, oh, hold on. Let me just grab my golden light and shoot your ass.
But no matter the chaos and the back and forth, I did it.
Yes! Yes! I almost threw up. Oh, look at this. You guys slayed. You guys slayed. Pop off, queen! Look at them.
And that victory honestly felt good.
That was a fun fight. All without my mimic too. I say as I have 2 other companions. No, because what is their problem? They're Miquella sips. They already got like Radhahn's dead body and revived it. What more do they want?
So with that, there was one final challenge I needed to face.
So getting Taco Bell after this? Sponsor me. Oh my gosh. This is it. Okay, I want to see him without the... Oh, cutscene!
My loyal blade and champion of the festival, so that he may be my consort.
Ooh, the soundtrack. Oh, I'm gonna get demolished. I know he shoots in front of you. This is so cool. I do nothing. He's a big guy. I am puny.
Ah, yes, the beloved Consort Radhan, one of the hardest bosses to exist. He's the hardest boss I've faced in my gaming career. 5 seconds into the arena, boom, I'm dusted with his blades. I picked up on a few dodging instincts, but other than that, demolished. It was so bad, I literally stopped feeling guilty about the mimic. No hesitation, I summoned her into the next fight. And well, I was stronger. Getting bleed buildup on Radahn at almost 8,000 was insane. The second phase triggered.
Phase 2. Oh no.
Lord brother.
Oh, it's feet.
And from there, I went non-verbal with how terrifying the stakes were. I'm still in shock I managed to dodge the majority of his newer hits. It was on and off, but for the most part, I survived. My mimic, on the other hand, couldn't take his onslaught of hits. So back I was, alone. One flask in hand, he shoots into the sky, nowhere to be seen.
Oh, what is he doing? I don't know what he's doing. Oh my god. Ah! I don't know where I'm at. Oh my god.
He was in his 3rd phase. No heals left, but I still clung to the hope of beating him. I ran far, and perfect my rolls were, but with the last hit in his sequence, I was banished back to the beginning.
Dang. Okay, he's something. Wow. I can't believe we got there though. That's kind of weird.
In the next few runs you see, the little taste of being close to beating the DLC messed with my head. Suddenly, I'm automatically wiped out. Couldn't make it back to that midpoint cutscene. And similar to Romina, the pressure for this boss seemed to amplify. With no choice, I ended stream. But that's when the training began. For 5 days, every night I ran back up those stairs straight into Radhahn's arms like a toxic relationship. Night 1. Before trapping myself for a straight hour, I went to look for Ansbach. Again, I managed to miss him on the way up to this place. Turns out he could be summoned for the fight. I didn't use him right away, but it was nice to know I had backup. More than anything, this night was to test myself only against Radahn. I was figuring out the timings on when to strike and dodge, kind of annotating on the types of moves he had. After seeing somewhat of a rhythm, I realized how much a single hit can mess up the whole run. Stagger once and you're basically chopped. And even after successful rolls, I was still so far from the second phase. I was severely underleveled for this fight. So now I am looking to get more runes. I travel back to the church district because hidden underneath this hell of a flooded place was a secret boss. I cranked the lever, dispersed all the remaining water, and arrived at the Skidoo tree base. The avatar wasn't terrible, but definitely annoying considering it respawns 2 more times. It moved like a dog trying to tackle you, and the vines just made it impossible to see anything. But after a couple of minutes going back and forth, I collected those sweet runes and leveled up my strength. For sure, it wasn't enough to go back in, so I attempted to slaughter the 2 dragons at Jagged Peak. I knew the tactic was to let the dragons fight, but it took so long. I'd get stuck in the crossfire before making a move. I spent 10 minutes getting him to the half point, and with a quick hit, I gave up. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of fighting dragons. Instead of dealing with any more, I decided to look for the remaining Skidoo tree fragments. Unaware, I've been passing a majority of them across the map. I'm not the type to kill everything in my way, but I guess this game encourages that. How was I supposed to know these shadow pot holders had fragments in them? While collecting the remaining, I did stumble across some fascinating creatures. This lamenter that can kill you by crying, and the demi-human queen I was severely over-leveled for. With 4 fragments, I went into night 2. By far, one of the worst nights I experienced. Those fragments barely made a move on the damage I inflicted, so I got a new blade. If you remember, there was a katana I found intriguing, Akasha's Great Katana. I felt lighter, and the weapon art had a similar swooping feel to Morgoth's blade. I did okay, but it still wasn't enough. I died so many times, I stripped so I could actually dual wield another katana. I'm literally bare bones, and the fight got nowhere. I was so focused on dodging his hits, I lost track when I could attack back. So in the next few runs, it felt like I was in purgatory. I died at 80% of his health left. Every possible death pose I could do triggered. It was comical. At one point, I summoned Ansbach. It was cool hearing his lines, but he just made Radahn harder. Halfway, I respected, putting everything into dex. I even doubted my sword again, this time going back and using the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. And with this, I was actually going somewhere. Something clicked in my brain with this sword. The weapon art was at a good speed where I could still dodge an extra hit after attacking. Of course, he demolishes me, but I was a hit away from triggering his second phase. I kept trying and trying, but once he did this move that I didn't know existed, I called it quits. Beginning of night 3, I continue my quest to find Skidoo tree fragments. During this mind-numbing task, turns out I've collected all but 1 fragment, and after realizing it lies within Jagged Peak, I told myself I could go without it. Once again, I was at the Divine Gate entrance. For my study session last night, I learned what type of moves he'll pull out, so this day I focused on polishing my dodges. The amount of spam hits he laid solidified no reason to summon my mimic. All his previous anger would fall onto me, but stronger, so I definitely needed to solo him in his first phase. I switched blades to see which one might work better against him, but honestly, I don't think it made a difference. I got ravaged back to back anyways. Time passed slowly, yet I still continued through the pain. I slowly sank into my chair, and after a straight 2 hours, I was so excited to do it all again in the next night. Night 4. Actually, it wasn't really night 4, it was the morning of day 4, you get what I mean. I experimented using my mimic for the first round again. Now that I knew the moves, I could focus more of his attention on myself while she gets him from behind. It was working. We quickly got to the second phase. And holy crap, I learned absolutely nothing when it came to it. Why did I think I was free from the hardships? Night 5 is when it all became a turning point. I felt a bit better after not touching the game for 7 hours or so. I got in again with the Dragon's Great Katana and committed to using it for the next hour of the practice session. I was doing almost 2,000 damage, and with such a clear space, I finally deciphered the timings he would reset. For example, this sequence of 5 attacks. You first stomp, swing twice again, and hit a delayed one on the ground. Then he'll break, which gave me enough time to hit him from behind. This 4-hit combo was also tricky at times. He'd swipe left and right and spin. You could do another hit, but I think healing was a better option. His smaller attacks weren't becoming egregious as before. The flame flame bleed combo, I had to go behind him, his gravitational pull became instinct, and I found out my sword was able to reach him from afar, helping greatly. But after knowing all these moves, I started to realize how tedious this all was. All the clips from that fight were a run that lasted 5 minutes. I had to get combative, and by sticking close to him, I finally made it on my own. I did instantly die, but it was worth it. It was viable to summon my Mimic now. The more I went in, the more I spent time in phase 2. He basically had the same moves, just with annoying light rays following behind. Now with the gist of his entire fight, I was ready for the mainstream. I dressed nicely for the occasion. I thought I wore pale yellow to be in favor of Miquella. For some reason, my mic was really low, so I'll summarize what I was feeling. All you gotta know, I became unfazed. I felt so cracked out. I was confident I could do the dodges in my sleep. The chat probably thought it was crazy for me to come back demolishing. I was still rusty in that halfway point, but it was fine. I promised myself today will be the day. I got smarter with my timings, just full on sent it on my Mimic being a ragdoll. And when times were looking scary, I kept going, knowing there'd be a spot where he'll stop. I will say though, this fucker turned on a dime. His aggro rate on multiple players is unmatched against other battles I found in the game. Usually, whoever gets the last hit, they'll run after. With Radahn, if you're near him, good luck. I lost patience. I returned inside holding the other katana blade. Surprisingly, I benefited a lot from the smaller attacks. Quickly, I was back at half of his health, and this time inflicting more bleed on him than before. 10,000 to 14,000 damage. With my sliver of health, I still survived. He shot into the skies. Once again, I ran as far as I could, but my Mimic perished. All the hours flashed into my brain. This was the moment. Totally. After a massive hit, it's over. And somehow, he had 10 HP left. It was only a matter of time before I died too, and he had taken the faster hit. Guys, I'm gonna cry. My worst fear happened. Pure sadness ran through my body, and all I could do was go back in and try again. I appreciated everyone in chat. One comment stuck out. Happens to the best of us. You got there once, you'll get there again. That's true. That's a great piece of advice. No matter how painful and tiring it became, it was possible. It was my time to lock the fuck in. My posture became straight, my eyes zoned in, screw it, my headphones were off. I didn't need the sound cues to know what he was doing. I memorized the soundtrack and sound effects. I even waited for him to come to me, and gosh, I hope he liked it in the ass. We were going in circles. He was on my rotation now. An hour and 50 in, the stars aligned. I loaded myself up with flask, and there was no doubt I'd get low on health. I did get captured, but I'd rather choose that than dying. Same case happened. My Mimic vanishes, and it's the two of us now. He came back down, and I saw it. The moves. I recognized that stupid 5-hit sequence he does. I took the hit, but finally, there it was. I'm healing. Where's my Mimic? Oh my gosh, he died. Oh my gosh. The mist cleared, a flashback plays of the promise that once held, and here I stood, having successfully beat the Elden Ring DLC. Never in a million years I'd find myself recording the virtual journey for others. More so, play a game I wasn't familiar with before. For a first ever Souls DLC, I'm proud of myself. With all the camera fluffs, multiple spins, and bursts of particles, I got through the end. I'm proud to say I've beat Promise, Consort Radhan, and Miquella. Thank you so much for sticking around again. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what game you'd like to see me play next. Until next time!